Hello, my name is Javier Rodriguez, and I want to welcome you to our $1 Million Baby Concept in Action webinar. Now, this is a little bit of a different webinar, which we are going to record and make available on a 24/7 basis on our website. The sole purpose of this webinar is to teach you about products and concepts that can help give your child or grandchild a sound financial future by taking action today. For over 20 years now, I have served as a financial strategist, helping people from all walks of life secure their financial future for themselves and for their families. Now, these includes teachers, police officers, doctors, nurses, firefighters, and again, people from all walks of life that are united with the simple goal of trying to give themselves and their families a much brighter and more secure financial future. Now, while these concepts and products work very well for adults, they work even better when it comes to kids, because kids have, well, nothing but time on their side. Let me start by asking you one question. What kind of a financial life do you dream of for your child? And for most parents and grandparents, we want a life of abundance, financial security, because obviously we want them to be better off than we were ourselves, even though that's very, very difficult to achieve nowadays during these very challenging times. If you could choose an annual salary for your child or grandchild today, regardless of how young they are, would you want them to make $20,000 a year, $37,000 a year, $65,000, or maybe $100,000 a year? Most parents and grandparents would immediately say $100,000, please. And of course, that has a lot to do with the level of education they achieve. And the level of education they achieve has a lot to do with how much money we save up for their college education and beyond. Unfortunately, when you ask the average family out there today about their college fund, most will tell you that it's either A, underfunded, or they don't have a college fund at all. And the sad part is that in most cases, it's not because of a lack of money as much as it is a lack of priorities, if you would. When we got kids that have no college fund, but yet they have the latest and greatest smartphone. They don't have a college fund, but they have the greatest and latest, let's just say, video game consoles, or the shoes, or the clothes, or subscriptions to music websites, and all kinds of stuff that we spend our money on. That I'm not saying we shouldn't do that, but I'm just saying we should prioritize where we spend our money first, and then go ahead and spend that truly discretionary income after we cover all of our bases. If we don't do that for our kids and they don't get that college education, they're going to be unfortunately condemned by you, by me, the parents and grandparents, to a life of struggles and low wages because we just simply failed to do our part. So whether your child is a newborn or a teenager, it's never too late to start saving to help them give them that edge in life. And by that edge, I'm talking about college education. You can save enough to pay for the entire education, or at least to offset the expenses associated with obtaining that college education, or maybe help them buy that first home. We know that it makes more sense to own than rent, but yet in most cases, people just simply don't have the money to be able to buy a home. But we can change that by starting to save early and then being able to help them become homeowners in the future as well, even their retirement. These are all things you can achieve today by just simply starting to do something, which is a heck of a lot better than doing nothing at all. And that's because a child will provide you, the parent or grandparent, the opportunity to build and pass on a legacy that can continue long after you're gone. This legacy includes your values, your work ethic, your culture, your heritage, religion, and more. But there's also another legacy you can leave that can bring many benefits and advantages to a child as well as future generations, and that's a financial legacy. And that's what I want to help you start for your child or grandchild today. With proper planning today, you can provide your grandchild or your child a life full of financial security and stability. And the best tool that I know that can ensure that is by you opening up an IUL, or Index Universal Life Policy, which is a permanent form of life insurance. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, why life insurance? Well, life insurance has changed a lot and offers some of the benefits that no other product offers. Here's just a few, and I'll let you read. You can pause the video and read them, but I'm not going to spend too much time because we got to keep this moving at a brisk pace. Tax-free growth. You can use the funds tax-free when you need to do so. You can open up a plan for your child as early as 14 days after they are born. And the cash value can be used by you or your child for any financial need in life, including education, down payment on a home, starting a business, even to provide financial security for their future family as well. And the best part is that anybody can open up one of these plans, parents, grandparents, legal guardians, and so on. And then you can even hand over control of the policy, the savings vehicle, to your child or grandchild once they hit 18 years of age, or you can remain the owner even after they hit 18 years of age as well. And the best part is that there is a life insurance policy, like I said earlier, But unlike most life insurance policies that you have to die to ever use it, here, if your child ever comes down with any type of critical, chronic, or terminal illness, they can actually advance themselves that life insurance money without dying, which is a pretty good bonus. Now, the death element behind it is minute because statistically speaking, the chances of a child passing away at a young age is almost non-existent, but yet that's why the life insurance is so cheap. That allows the bulk of the money to go to work for their financial future as well. Let me give you an example. I'm not selling you anything that I don't own in my life or that I have not used to get my kids through life as well. This is my middle daughter. Her name is Sylvia. She's a registered nurse. And the same concepts and principles that I'm sharing with you today are the same ones I used to get her through college and become an RN without having to take a penny of student loan debt. As you can see, this is her at her baby shower when we celebrated it a couple of months ago. Here's an actual ultrasound picture or ultrasound image of my grandson when he was still in her tummy. His name is Jack. And so I knew the importance of starting something sooner rather than later for him. And here's what I was able to do that you could do for your child or grandchild as well. Now here you see $100 or $1,200 a year. I'm saving $100 a month, which is again $1,200 a year. That gives me a face amount, or my grandson Jack, a face amount of $393,000, almost $400,000, not just in the event of death, but most importantly in the event of an illness, accident, or critical, terminal, or chronic illness that I was mentioning to you earlier, that we can tap into that balance to get him better and back in the game, as they say. As you can see, if I keep saving those $1,200 a year, by the time Jack is 18, he's going to have almost $26,000 in his account, which can be used for anything, college, literally for anything that we want. The goal is college, but hopefully he qualifies for scholarships and that money continues to grow for when he is ready to purchase a home. Let's just say he's 25 years old and he wants to purchase that home. Well, with this plan, by saving those same $1,200 a year, he would have almost $47,223 by the time he's 25. By the time he's 30, there's over $70,000 in there. By the time he's 45, there's over $200,000, and all of it was just simply saving $100 a month. And we spent $100 a month on things that are useless sometimes, like it's nothing. Going out, eating, dinner, toys, video games, like I said earlier. There's no shortage of where to spend your money. It's just how wisely can we invest the money and save the money for our kids. Now here's also an image or a picture of my granddaughter. Her name is Zoe. I started this for her when she was born. She is 3 years old now. And again, this is the exact same thing I'm telling you about that I have on the life of my granddaughter as well as myself. Now here's a screenshot of the smartphone app that comes with this program. And at the top, you can see a life insurance for $250,000. This is on my life. That's my personal, or one of my personal IUL policies. And below that is my granddaughter's, which is $325,000, also paying $1,200 a year, which is about $100 a month. Now I pay annually on her birthday. So every birthday, instead of just buying her junk or toys, I do that. I spoil her, but I also send a check to the insurance company for $1,200 to not have a payment during the year. You can pay monthly or annually, it doesn't matter. But the point that I want to share with you is if you look at the bottom of the screen, it shows total premium paid $3,600. And what that simply means is that I've given the insurance company now $3,600 over the last 3 years, but of that, I have an entire $2,535 to her name. And the difference when to pay for insurance is very cheap because, like I told you earlier, statistically speaking, the chances of a child passing away is very, very low. Therefore, the cost of the insurance is very, very low. So the bulk of the money goes to work in the form of savings. And in the case of an illness, whether it be critical, terminal, or chronic, we can tap into the $325,000 to get her back in the game as well, which is simply incredible. An Index Universal Life, or IUL policy, combined with the most precious commodity your child or grandchild has today, which is time, can give them a completely different outlook that you had when you were growing up because of the time that is involved in growing the money. So when it comes to time, you can either leverage it and give your children and grandchildren a life that you never had, or you can let it slip away and in many cases have this whole cycle repeat itself of lack of savings, borrowing too much, and so on and so on and so on. I'm on a personal goal to help families never have to tap into student loan debt again, but unfortunately every year billions of dollars is taken out because parents and grandparents simply failed to save at some point when the kids were younger. Your child's financial life and your legacy will be determined in great part by the decisions and actions you take on their behalf today, because they simply can't choose for themselves. They're too young, but you're not. Your experience, you're a parent, you're a grandparent, and again, you know the importance of making the sacrifice if it need be to make sure that they are better off in the future than you were ever during your entire lifetime. So to learn how you can give your child or grandchild a gift that can provide them with the life you dream for them, simply click on the button below to schedule a free Zoom-based, from the comfort and safety of your home, consultation that will run numbers for your child or grandchild, regardless of whether they're 14 days old or 14 years old, to show you what $50, $75, $100, $200 a month can do for them. And I can promise you, you're going to sleep a lot better knowing that you're not just wishing for them to have a much better and more secure financial future, but that you're actually doing something about it. Thank you. I wish you the best. Stay safe. And above all, please stay healthy. Thank you.